Here I am, the Guru Mama. Hello, hello, hello. Coming to you from, it is the laundry room, furnace room, utility room. That's where I'm at. So, all right. This weekend's not small. It is March 7th and for the 8th, 2026. We have something we have never experienced quite like this before. Venus is conjunct Saturn and Neptune in Aries. And yes, Venus has met Saturn and Neptune before, but the last time this kind of tight cluster could have been around 1989 in Capricorn. That was a system building energy. This is identity building energy. It's Aries, right? The I am. And those are two different things. So it's kind of like how I was explained was like the blacksmith, okay? I see this imagery, the blacksmith. Aries is fire. It's heat. It's raw ignition. Venus walks into the forge and Saturn says, okay, what are we building? Neptune says, but what does your soul actually want? And Venus says, this is what I desire. This is what I value. And this is what I'm done tolerating. This is not romance. It's energy, the soft romance, lovey-dovey energy. This is values under pressure. This is money under pressure. This is relationships under pressure. Self-worth under pressure. But pressure is not punishment. Okay? Pressure is refinement. And Venus in Aries is raw desire, right? So we're looking at this raw desire. And Venus in Aries, she's not polite. She's kind of a bitch. And it doesn't want and wait to be chosen. It chooses. But Venus is technically in determent here. In detriment, I should say. Determent. Well, determent, but detriment. She doesn't operate smoothly in Aries. She's more reactive, more instinctual, more I want it now kind of energy. Now bring in Saturn. Saturn in Aries is in its fall. So Saturn is trying to structure something that is brand new. Neptune, being in Aries, Neptune doesn't even fully know how to dream in Aries yet because it just got there. So we're here, desire, structure, spiritual longing, right? All in a brand new territory. You're not forging a finished sword. You're hammering the molten metal that doesn't have a final shape yet. So you need some vision. Kind of, the other image I got is the Statue of David by Leonardo da Vinci. The one big marble slab. Like, here's the slab, and he's got to create something from that. He might have an image, but he's not too sure exactly how that image is going to be until he starts chiseling away, right? And just going at it. And it's precise on how to hold the chisel, even with a blacksmith, how to hold it, right? How to hammer it, and where you're hammering, right? Because you don't want to hammer too much on one spot because you'll make it weak. So we are still swimming in Pisces energy. Mercury just finished a Gazini with the sun. Mercury's retrograde, Jupiter's retrograde. And this weekend, Mercury begins trining Jupiter. Both are retrograde. So the re's come in, the review, the reevaluation, the reframing. This is not new information. This is, now I understand. Jupiter is exalted in Pisces, thank God, right? Because without Jupiter, this weekend would feel destabilized. But Jupiter keeps the faith alive. It keeps the hammer meaning intact. Now the moon is in Scorpio. Moon in Scorpio just dives to the depths of emotion. And this emotion is going to be coming up this weekend. So we're not skimming the surface. You're not this is where you're going to be seeing and feeling betrayal. You're going to be feeling powerful, and where you feel done, just done. And where something energetically cuts itself off. And on Sunday, we get this water grand trine. Moon in Scorpio, Mercury retrograde in Venus, Jupiter in Jupiter in Cancer. And this is where the sun is in the sun is in Pisces. This is emotional integration. And I finally, and this is where you're going to get, I finally get it. That's empowerment through surrender. And interestingly, this grand trine forms something that is very intense. It forms where Venus finishes that conjunction with Saturn. And so it's almost like you say no to something and clarity flows in. You just know, I'm done. And everything comes in. That's the beauty of it, right? So, let's talk about manifestation. The magician card, and it's reversed. So it's reversed energy. Because I know a lot of people are like, why isn't it happening yet? And the magician, reversed energy is strong. And that doesn't mean you don't have power. It means, are you actually using all the tools? Right? If you're going to make an enchilada, you need all the ingredients, right? You can't manifest without structure, without clarity, without emotional honesty. And the magician is the pentacles, the swords, the cups, and the wands. If one is missing, you'll feel blocked. And this weekend may reveal that. Where you are not fully applying yourself. Not in a shame way, in an alignment way. And the shadow side, if someone doesn't know who they are right now, this could feel empty. And Saturn and Neptune can dissolve identity. And you might think, I don't know what I want anymore. I don't know who I am. Why does everything feel uncertain? Because the old structure is dissolving. And here's the key. This is not a collapse. It is a recalibration. And the new car, analogy. The energy feels like getting into a new car. You have to adjust the mirrors, the seat, the steering, sensitivity. You might bump into a few corners. Mars in Pisces is still clumsy. It's still foggy, but emotionally, there is more clarity forming. And for the first time in a minute. And let's be honest, Venus is money too. This weekend could show you where you are undervaluing yourself, where you're overspending emotionally, where you're chasing validation, where you need stronger boundaries. Saturn is structure. Neptune is make sure it aligns with your soul. And Venus says, I'm done. I'm done settling. And that's powerful. So, we're looking at forging self-worth, cutting energetic cords, raising your bar quietly, choosing long-term identity over short-term comfort. It's subtle, but it's divisive. And it might not announce it publicly, but internally, something locks in. So don't force decisions. Watch what drains you. What feels quietly powerful? Watch for that. Notice that you no longer want to attract. Pay attention to the subconscious motives. This is Pisces backed Aries fire. It's like a underwater welder. Spirit first, action second. So let's prepare for this and let's just come in. So my closing for you all. You're not losing identity, you are refining. You are not being denied, you are being redirected. You are not powerless, you are in a forge. Let the metal heat, let the impurities rise, the hammer with the intention. Not panic, this is alchemy. and we have never seen it quite like this before. Mama out.